Alright guys, in this video we're going to be going over some things that I do not like about the 1988 Firebird Formula. The first one, the major one, the overall quality of the vehicle. You know, keep in mind it was the 80s and this car definitely shows. Oh, that door's locked. But as you can see here, this is a great example. They made this spoiler and it looks really cool, but they made it out of a hard rubber that contracts and expands with the heat. And as you can tell, paint doesn't necessarily like that. So this car starts to show its age pretty quick. You look down here, pretty sweet looking, but the overall quality of the vehicle is not very good. Now, going to the interior. Now, the electronics of these cars are not very good. As you can see, I got the radio pulled out. The build quality of the interior is almost laughable by today's standards. You see here, big crack in the console. Console's coming away from the shifter. It's just it is kind of junky. Big crack in the dash, very, very common. But you know, interior quality was not on GM's to-do list in 1988, and it shows. But it wasn't on anybody's to-do list in 1988. Let's be real. But overall build quality really shows underneath the car. Now, I have no light under there, so you wouldn't be able to see it. But these cars do rust out. This one is on its way to rusting as well. Floorboards are a very big weak point on these third gens. You get a little bit of water in there, especially on the T-top cars, because it leaks in from the T-top right here. It leaks right onto the floor, rots it out real quick. So these cars rot out pretty significantly. So one thing to look out for when buying one is you can have one that looks like this and it looks really sweet, but make sure you crawl under it before you buy it to know what you're getting. Keep an eye out specifically for the floorboards and the rocker panels, because those love to rot out as well. Some other things I don't like about this car are the plastics on the exterior. Now, this was like it when I bought it, but I'm imagining this thing had a very, very small impact in the front. Maybe the guy backed into it with his lawnmower or something, and as you can tell, it's pretty messed up. These don't like to take hits and not crack. You see a lot of these with cracked fenders and cracked fascias. So the exterior plastics, not great quality. The factory paint was almost laughable. Clear coat just burns off real quick. This car has been resprayed at some point in his life, and as you can tell, it shows pretty well. But if this was original paint, it would probably be a very flat red. Would have almost no shine to it. Some other things that you got to watch out for on these third gens, some things I really don't like about them, is these hatch motors. So I'll show you. It's kind of an interesting setup. Interesting in a bad way, because the fourth gens don't have them. So you put the key in, you twist it, and you hear that motor, and you see the hatch lift up. So you pull on it, the hatch opens up by hand. But you look in here, this is actually a pretty complex motor system. So it's designed, GM in 1988 was worried about people slamming these hatches and breaking that giant piece of glass. But so that their solution to this was to put a motor down. So you gently set the hatch down, as I'll demonstrate. Gently set it down. Maybe not so gently. There we go. And it'll pull it down and pull it all the way closed in a controlled, gentle manner. As you can tell, it fits just fine, and this is a rare car to have that still functioning. Most third gens don't have it at all working. Most of them have it just gutted out. Our 86 Firebird, the previous owner just took it all the way out because he was so frustrated with it. To have this one still functioning perfectly is very, very abnormal. So that's about it. That's most of the stuff I don't like about it. Mostly related to just quality and quirky little 80s things that they did back in the day. Overall, I think this vehicle's held up pretty well, but there is some things I don't like about it, such as the rust, the electronic problems, the overall quality of the vehicle. But man, when you look at it, all that stuff just goes away. You gotta love this thing. Thanks for watching, guys.